Hi, Amy. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Kinsey.
Hi.
Oh, Amy, look at you. I really feel like I should have shown up a little bit better today after seeing that. Okay,
Oh,
guys.
no, I love your hoodie.
You look marvelous. We love you, Kinsey. We love how you look.
Thank you so much.
You do, darling.
You guys, I cannot believe how crazy this show is. How much fun is the Nevers? I hope, as I watched it, I hoped you were having as much fun shooting it as I was watching it. This feels like a silly question, but what attracted you to this script? Because I cannot imagine reading it on paper translated into like the beautiful product that it became. And that's to both of you. I'm interested in both of your perspectives.
Well, this one's very as present as he is in real life on set. And that's really nice to, you want to work with people who, one, inspire you, but two, that don't show up and deliver the same things all the time, that keep you on your toes, that make you think in a different way, that you are so inspired by, that you react in a different way. You just don't know what's coming next. And that's been a joy. Obviously, I didn't know that was the case initially when I read the script, but it's been a joy since to collaborate with Ben and Co on the set, because everybody's just so in the moment, and that's inspiring. And you read scripts like these and you think, how on earth is this going to come to fruition? How are we going? How are we going to do this? But we have, and that's the main thing.
I just second all that. I mean, we're talking about each other because we're with each other, but it's also very nice to be with a cast member that you can speak very, complimentary way about, who and mean it. It's just been it's a fantastic cast. Everybody is. It sounds really boring. It sounds like I'm saying it for press, but it really is a lovely place to go to work, from the entire crew and the entire cast. And I just so happen to have been lucky enough to do quite a bit of stuff with Amy, and she's she's all that and a bag of chips. She's like,
we're bringing it back. I love that. All that and a bag of chips.
Bag of fish and chips.
Bringing that back big time. Yeah, it means crisps where you come from.
I know.
Where we come from, it means oily, hot, slugs of potato. Yeah. She's just a joy to work with. But then still, that rare thing of being somebody who gives it everything they've got, but doesn't lose their sense of humor about it. So actually does something that costs her and is somewhere vulnerable, but is still willing to make herself vulnerable as a person. It's like, and you don't often get those two in. You don't often get those two in conjunction. Quite often, when actors put themselves somewhere scary, they get in a bubble and they're not a lot of fun to be around. And that's a perfectly valid way to work. But she's braver than that. She doesn't hide in the bubble.
Minnie, can you tell me about the name, the Nevers? Because the superpowers are touched. So the name the Nevers is really unique and different.
Yeah, it is, and it's something that I think personally makes more sense the more you go into the series, and I think it makes sense in the way that society at the time that it's placed in had certain people sort of collected as never being able to achieve much. So I think that kind of sits in the back of my brain with the title of it, but it's an unfolding one where I think it has interesting meanings on a lot of different levels.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to the show, it's all about layers. Nothing is ever as it seems. It's always about the next thing, the next twist and turn. Congratulations. This show is so insane, so much fun. I loved watching it. And I love that I'm with doctors on the opposite sides right now, both of them. Okay, Zackary, I wanted to ask you, why is Dr. Cousins so committed to the touched? Why is he a good guy? Do we really have that answer, or is that something that you came up with?
But through the working with the writers, I think why he's so connected to the touch is part of his own feelings of being disenfranchised, being marginalized as a black man, working in a very white male-dominated field. And the same can go for most of the orphanage, which are women, so it resonates with him. And also he's a man that believes in everybody should have a chance, everyone should, fight for what's right. So yeah, that's kind of his.
That's a great answer. I love that. And Dennis, I am a huge fan, and I had so much fun getting into your background. I lost count of how many times you've played a doctor, but I'm wondering, if this is the most sinister doctor you've ever played.
Years ago, I remember talking to somebody, and I was like, look, I don't want to just play a doctor. I'll play a doctor with a limp. I'll play a doctor who is a fraud. I'll play a doctor who is a mad scientist who drills in heads. What I've been given is a doctor who sings, who is fairly joyous, who is, motivated by wanting to learn, and just happens to have no sense of compassion or, humanity. But besides that, no, he's a great character. Like all things in the Nevers, more will be revealed. It's a really rich world, and characters are not what they seem. And a lot of these characters are not what they seem. And you will find out.
Oh, I love that. That's so exciting. Well, I have this other question off of that, and tell me, you can slap my hand and say, wait and find out if you want, but I wanted to know, when you're looking for the touch's powers, when you're seeking this, is it to weaponize them? Is that what your character wants to do? Or does he feel like some in the community that they're a menace, Dennis? Or you could be like, I'm not ready to answer that.
I think that Haig's motivations are mixed, meaning I think he is a scientist, and he does want to know what's happening. What he will do with that information is sort of beyond his pay grade in a strange way. He works for Lavinia Bidlow, and they are trying to discover what this big glowing thing in the ceiling is doing. Haig also knows more than he lets on, and he also has his own agenda. And so that will be revealed.
Now, each one of you are touched in the show, which means there's something special about you, or something that makes you different. Anna, what is it that makes you special in the show?
Well, Primrose is 10 foot tall. That's it. Yeah, she's a 16-year-old girl, and she's quite gentle and introverted. She grows to 10 foot tall, which is quite startling for her, being 16 years old and just wanting to be like a lady. Yeah.
And she's so delicate and perfect. I absolutely adore her. Viola, oh my God, yours is quite the task, I might say. Can you explain your special power?
Yeah, I mean, so Myrtle can speak every language in the world, but she can't control which one comes out at any given time. So she knows exactly what she means. She's confident what she means, but absolutely no one else has any idea what she's talking about. So that's a pretty unique challenge for her. Yeah.
I bet. And also my grandmother's name was Myrtle, so I immediately loved you.
Oh my God! Yay! I love the name Myrtle.
It's so great. Kieran, yours is really fun visually. I loved watching yours. Can you explain to me your power?
Yeah, so my turn is that I can turn things into glass with my breath. Not humans, but objects and fruit and veg. Yeah, and it's really cool. Like for me, like she gives she gives everything around her clarity. She wants to see through things. She wants to see the truth. She wants to see what people are really thinking and what they're really saying and who they really are. And she doesn't want to live in a black and white world. She wants to explore those gray areas in society where people really truly exist and become personalities. And that's I think Harriet's drive and what she's really interested in.
Yeah, and with Harriet, it also feels like, I know at I believe it's referred to as the orphanage, or, you know, where all of the girls are, Harriet seems to have a fire inside of her where she might not be so physical now, but it feels like she is such a fighter, and it feels like there's so much to look forward to with that character, which I think is really exciting. Anna, what was it like, or what were the challenges of shooting as somebody that's 10 feet tall? Because as I was watching some of these scenes where like all of a sudden you poke your head in and stuff, I just could not imagine what that was for you, what that was like for you as an actor. Can you describe that process? Was it crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially being 5 foot myself. So I'm tiny and I have to act huge. But we have a really incredible VFX team, and quite a lot of the time I have to stand up on a platform so that it actually makes me 10 foot tall. And so immediately being up there, I feel massive. And especially being up there, I can just see how many people are working on this project. And it kind of gives me that feeling that Primrose would feel, of feeling really other. Because, you know, if someone's on a platform, everybody tends to just kind of look up at me because it's weird. And so I kind of get to feel like these eyes on me, and like just how odd it would feel. Also, we had a Primrose doll made to her exact height, with my proportions, which was quite terrifying actually. But she's sweet, she's lovely, and it means that kind of everybody on set can kind of grasp what it would be like to be standing next to a giant, and just grasp the actual scale of her.
What is going to happen to that doll one day? Like, is that going to be something that you take home with you, and it's like decorated for
I don't know if I want it.
Really quickly, I want to know, are you afraid of heights? Because if you have in any way, shape, or form a fear of heights, that's got to be weird too, to have you on such a high pedestal.
The first day, I was quite frightened, actually, because it was like a scaffolding pedestal as well. So it was a little bit wobbly. So I remember that first day being like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? And I remember people kind of walking up to me being like, you okay? You look really scared. But I kind of just got to trust the people around me. Everybody's so good at their job on this show. I'm safe. So yeah, I kind of got.
And also, I know Anna's definitely underplaying it, but she was always there for all of our scenes, doing all the dialogue, like off screen.
Yeah, she was
like,
amazing.
Always like there on cue, doing it all, like, and knowing she'd have to wait till the end of the day to like get to do all of her on-screen stuff. And like it was amazing. Like I've never seen, like it's the hardest job, like, and she did it so wonderfully.
She did an amazing job.
Oh my gosh, Anna, take a bow. No, Viola, did you have to learn any other language, or did you have to learn, are you learning other languages because of this? I can't even process what you're going through as an actor. I am so amazed by you.
Oh, thank you so much. I did do a lot of languages at school. I do Latin A-level currently, but I learned Chinese and ancient Greek and a bit of Italian and some French. So I had like a little bit of grounding in those, but it was mainly, I was given all my lines in English, and then me and my dialect coach would translate them all. And we had some help from students at my school who'd send in recordings so I could get the pronunciation correct. And yeah, we just sort of played around with different combinations of translations just to find out what rhythmically felt right for me and what languages I was drawn to. And I loved Russian, and I loved doing a bit of Italian. And there were some really odd languages that I'd never heard of before that we got to use. So that was really interesting for me. But yeah, it was a really time-consuming process and tiring, but it was definitely worth it. And it was incredibly educational. And I learned a lot from putting that much dedication into the preparation for a role.
I've heard the show described as a Victorian X-Men, but I think it's so much cooler. Rochelle, how would you describe the show if you were telling a stranger about it?
How would I describe the show if I was telling a stranger about it? I've always sort of just said it is about women in the Victorian era with superpowers, and it's the most blanketed way to describe it because so much happens. And it's such an epic, sweeping tale with so many different journeys. It's quite hard to maybe describe that simply. So I keep it quite chill, and I'm like, you'll see. Because as soon as you say corsets and superpowers, everyone's like, amazing,
yep.
Amazing, great, I'm sold. So that's the vibe. I play it cool.
I kind of have these general questions, but I did want to ask you specifically. There seems to be almost a change of heart for your character, and I'm only into 3 episodes, but and I'm not, no spoiler alerts or anything on my end. I apologize if somebody feels it that way, but do we get backstory from you as to what made you change your path? And I'm hoping the answer is yes, because you kick ass. I'm obsessed with you. You're so beautiful. I loved your superpowers, but I want to know so much more.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Yes, we will. So we've shot the first 6, and then we're going to come back this spring to start shooting another 6. And we'll find out about the why and the how and the who and the what. And I'm super excited for you guys to see that, because it's very me and these Bonfire in the first 6 episodes is like, she's such a tease. Like, she's coming in sprinkled, and yes, you will. So
I love it.